Hey everyone, welcome to the Mario Kart Professional Series Division 1 Week 1 match between KG and AV. I am joined by Vincent and we're really excited for this one. What do you think, Vincent?
I think it's going to be a match. I think this is definitely going to be probably the most hype match of week one. Maybe besides CB Wogs.
That was pretty exciting.
Yes.
I was pretty pumped. Maybe a little biased there. I'm not gonna say anything. I love both CB and WOG, so I wish I could have actually been able to be a part of it, but super sub Kyle came in and did some work there. But right now we have some really big rosters coming in, and a little surprise too, at least from the end of KG. So we'll get those up on your screen in just a moment. And right now, as you can see, that we have from KG side, Pavo, Jax, Mike, Mura, and Ryu, which is actually pretty surprising since Jax and Mura haven't been playing too much recently. And from anyone's perspective, they're two of the best players, not just in the US, but probably the world at this point. I mean, they're just crazy. Mura's probably the best Daisy player currently, and Jax is just absolutely insane at the video game.
For sure. I do think though, with them like just coming back from hiatus, Rust could be a thing. They might be the best players on paper, but I mean, I assume they've been practicing, but sometimes chemistry can be tough if you haven't played in a while. So I'm excited to see what they can do in this match.
Absolutely, and you want to take us through those AV lineup?
Yeah. So Avail lineup. This isn't your typical AV lineup. They got the likes of Klein, who doesn't normally play. He's not normally their starting lineup, but I'm excited to see what he can do here. We're going to be seeing Sean and Vincent. We're going to be seeing their point of views, as well as Zagler, who is transferring in from PT. So that's kind of a new addition to their team here. And Mac bagging. I don't, Ryu and Mac, I feel like it's going to be a pretty exciting bagging battle. I don't know about you, but I think they have a lot of experience, and I see a lot of it coming down to shock. So
yeah, I could definitely see that. One thing that I'm interested to see is the prominence of Daisy in this match. Tavo is well known to be able to take some of the shortcuts with Daisy and really kind of pushing the Daisy GP meta forward, where you use Daisy for a GP and are able to take the big shortcuts on BC Wii, BC3, and
they
really
kind of pioneered
exploit. Yeah, exactly. Them along with some Coastline members, because they were kind of around that time with Aruba as well. So really kind of pushing that forward, and then swapping over to Funky for the rest of the way, and really being solid on the rest of the courses. And I think there's enough in the Daisy spectrum on courses that you can actually be really good at exploiting that opportunity and gaining, at least 15 points that may have not come otherwise. And I think having that advantage is something that, a lot of teams for a while started looking into, and we've kind of tapered off of that a little bit. So I'm really excited to see if that prominence happens here with Havo, maybe using Daisy for a GP or so to start trying to get some of those big picks going their way, especially having someone like Mura, who's always going Daisy. I'll be excited to see. And any thoughts on who's going to be taking the bagging battle here?
Ooh, I don't know. Ryu, I think, has the time, the experience over him, but at this top level of play, it really doesn't matter. Both of these people have been bagging long enough to where I think they're fairly equal in skill. I think it'll come down to who's playing the best. Sometimes it just depends on who's having a better day, and of course, luck is a big factor. So I can't really predict at this point.
Yeah, I know Mac has, he's been playing for US East, and so he has a little bit more top level experience so far. I know KG's been warring a lot, so they've been getting a lot of the wars in. But I do think Mac has had, being on the big stage and being in more stressful situations as of recent, a little bit more going his way there. But
it's really that strat consistency,
Right. That being said, I don't know if I could ever vote against Ryu. I think he's a phenomenal bagger and just overall really, really solid. And for someone who uses Baby Luigi is just very impressive. So
does he really still use Baby Luigi?
Yes, he does.
Wow. Wow.
He's
He's
a
loyal to that character.
pioneer.
Yeah.
Yes, I love seeing it. So,
I wanted to mention when you were talking about the daisies with KG, Avail, none of these people in this lineup are daisy mains. So if they do end up, playing daisy for a GP and picking those tracks, Avail's going to be at a real disadvantage if they do get lucky with track picks and are able to get all 4. But I just found that interesting. So I don't suspect anyone from their team will switch over and play daisy, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. And another thing, we were talking about Rust, but Vincent from AB is someone who also really hasn't played that much recently. And Zagler, I know he's hung around the Avail crew for a while, but he didn't play MKPS with them last season. He played with Phantasmagoria, and Klein really didn't play much with AB either last season. From what I can remember, they were opting for a different lineup more often than not. But Sean is very consistent. I was also talking about Klein. I think he had played in some of the side tournaments, if not most of the side tournaments. But I don't remember him playing in the actual regular season. I know they opted for Olafray as someone in their spot more, and Vincent and Sean were pretty much staples for them as well. And I think they used Thomas in a few lineups as well. So Klein kind of just doing that little swap out there. So I am interested to see kind of how this lineup meshes, because these 4 in particular I haven't seen function together as runners. So I am excited to see that.
Mm-hmm. And there was no poll done for this match, but I am curious, Wally, who do you think will come out on top and by how many points? If you were to take a guess.
I think it's very hard to root against this lineup coming out from KG. I mean, this is probably their best lineup or very close to it. The only thing that I would say is maybe you could put someone over Mike for a little more consistency, but Mike has been playing very well, especially in Avoidance. I casted actually the LTA match last night, and Mike, for not having great item luck, if you want to call it that, was able to just do a great job at avoiding all kinds of items and backspam from the other team. And I think he's been really solid there. So I'll be interested to see how he does. And other than that, I think the rest of this lineup from KG is just really solid. But I do think I'll be interested to see if it does come down to Rust. How about you?
I would definitely have to agree. I think with Klein being, this is no bash to Klein, but he doesn't normally have that experience. They don't normally put him in the main lineup, so nerves might get to him a little bit, as well as Zagler just transferring in. I think KG definitely has the consistency in their lineup, and they played together for a long time, whereas this Avail lineup isn't something that we normally see. Either way, I think it's going to be a really, really close match, though. I don't really see any team running away with it more than 60 points. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have 10 in the room now, so it just looks like it kicked off here. So we'll be switching over to the POV, and we're going to be starting on Sean's POV, which I'm really excited to see. Sean is just an incredible player. Just watching him, he's so fast, and he's still also really great at avoiding items and using his items. So really excited to see how he does.
Sure.
And we'll be able to swap between Sean and Vincent's POV. So we're probably going to be doing switches more around positions. So if Sean is just at breakaway first or breakaway last, we'll look for Vincent to be more that mid-pack player and kind of see what's going on there, so we can get a little more insight on what's happening. So
and unfortunately we couldn't get a bagging point of view. I do think it's really cool to have a bagging POV from either team, because it kind of adds a whole new perspective on the match, but no one from KG could stream, and I don't think Matt could stream either, so we will just be seeing running this time around. Now, I do want to talk about track picks. This is you always see Maple Tree and Retro Browser Castle as the first track, but there is some really underrated picks for alternating spots for first tracks, and DKJP, I know is a really good one. If you have any more.
I think Dry and Coco are really good if you're starting really in first. So, and then if you're starting for the 2-4, I actually like Koopa Cape. You are going to see more of those mid spots that you can actually have and start making your way up into the into the pack a lot quicker, or getting a good item because you would have that 4-6, so you have those potential for trip shrooms, and then you would have 8th place as well, potentially slowing down and going for an item there. So I do like those potentials there. Otherwise, you have the very meta, very staple picks of MT being 1-3 and RBC being 2-4. So
these are definitely like I'd say they're the best picks and the most safe for, the very first pick.
Safe, I agree, at least for now. And I think, we haven't been in a situation where we've seen a ton of situations with alternating spots as a default. So I'll be excited to see kind of how that meta develops as we move forward through this. And there may be some more sleeper picks that we just don't know yet. I mean, we've been playing the game for so long and we see a lot of different situations, but not very often do we see straight alternating spots across the board and having people wanting to look into different sorts of tracks there. So far we have kind of a really bad bottom 2 here coming out for AB. And
yeah, we kind of rambled on the first lap, but we saw someone from KG squish the likes of Vincent. And Sean unfortunately had revolving reds around him and wasn't able to swerve in time. So AV kind of has this, I know a lot of them are in the back here.
And a top 3 for KG right now. And a huge break in top 3 as well.
Yeah, that beginning kind of set the tone. And KG was the one starting in 1-3, if I'm correct, right?
They were the ones starting in 1-3, that is correct.
Okay. And kind of showing that, and the cannon dodge coming in the start of lap 3. I think Vincent predicted that. KG would have, AV would have never dodged top 3 there.
Yeah, no, 100%. The Baby Mario from Ryu did not spin out, but I actually don't like that shock from KG. Because Jake is in breakaway last, and that top 3 was not going to get touched from AB, so I think you have Jake instead trying to find a dodge and find a way to catch back up instead of worrying about a 6-second lead coming out from your top 3.
Even with the blue, they weren't losing that, and
right.
All that really could have been. It didn't look like it happened here, but that could have really benefited AV had they had a bill in play or predicted something with the star. But either way, very, very strong showing from KG first race, a top 3 to start it off.
Yeah, very solid across the board. Again, the reason that I really don't like that call there is if you look at a situation of AV is going to predict that you're going to dodge the cannon and confirm the top 3.
Always. But
Always.
even if they're going to use a dodge no matter what.
Right. So no matter what, you are getting that resource out of them. If you dodge them, you lose the resource of shock. If you don't, they're not catching up anymore. It's going to be the same thing no matter what because your top 3 is unaffected. So look for it later when you have that large of a breakaway, especially to get Jake more than 7th. I mean, that could have easily been a top 3-5 or top 4 even if Jake is able to pull a dodge later on. And you can start extending those even more than already. And I mean, a 21-point lead after one race is nothing to scoff at. Don't get it twisted. That's huge. But I mean, you can start taking it, 2 more points, 4 more points away, and those are going to add up over time and really put a ton more pressure on your opposition.
You're saying it could have just been a little better. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's hard to beat a top 3 in general. So. And
I suspect KG is going to go BCW here. Like you said, Daisy coming out, they're going to try to take that glitch from the get-go. And yeah, just like that BCW pick coming out, AV is going to need to pull some kind of golden here and block the shortcut if they don't want KG to break away. But no,
sure.
We talked about track picks. It's the curse.
Caster's curse. We caster cursed it. But you know what? This evens out. It's 1-1 in track picks, and we get to see AV's track pick coming in. This is something that they're really known for. They always tend to perform pretty well on gardens. So I'll be interested to see how this works, and we'll see how it goes from here. Only one Daisy though, so even though they would have gone BCW, Pavo is not on Daisy, so he is opting for Funky at least this GP. Maybe interested to see how he goes from here.
Maybe they figured that because they're going to be going Maple Race 1, they would rather save that till GP2. Maybe to get some of the more staple track picks out of the way before they go for all the Daisy tracks. It's just a guess, but
well, he is starting in first as well because Havo is the host, so that is a not a great starting position as Daisy because you can get thrown around pretty easily on Maple So it is something to take into consideration there. So a green snipe attempt does not hit anyone, but triple shrooms in fourth for Sean. This is not a bad position, even though, top 3 is being held by KG and Mike is going to take the cut in second.
This pull is big. They're going to be able to break into the top 2 with these shrooms. Maybe around this chomp section. They need to kind of contest the top spots here. We haven't really, KG's just kind of been running since race 1. But on Gardens, shock is a big deal, and it looks like Ryu and Mac are neck and neck here.
Yeah, I mean, the bagging battle is very close. It looks like no one had a spin out on the chomp yet, so we're still just kind of cruising along. So I don't know if someone is holding the bill at this point and just trying to do it. Ryu's going forward now, so a little bit of a bait there, I think, as he does have the shock. And ooh, I think he could have made it through that cut there. I think he could have done it.
He would have had to clip the grass.
I think he hops at the end and he makes it. But now a top 2 coming in for AV, but KG having the shock gives him a lot of control here still. I'll be interested to see who all from KG has dodges, since most of them were occupying top spots. They would have to pull something somewhat recently in order to actually contest this. Havo gets backed by Sean here.
I don't see much changing unless there is a shock. Yeah, and there it is coming out, but only 8th place dodged, and I don't know if he'll be able to make it in time without shrooms.
We'll see. Jake's coming up quick, so.
Oh, yeah, this is looking like still a top 2.
Oh no, 1-3.
He missed the MP.
So 1, 3, 5, and 8 is what it looks like from what I can see there. So still a good race for AV. I mean, you don't get shock on a race that it can be very prominent on, and you're able to win the race. So pretty solid.
I mean, that he barely missed the wheelie there at the end, and I think that was the difference between second and third. Wally, if he would have wheelied, it would have been a lot closer. But AV definitely getting 1-3 there.
I think Jake was going to take that regardless. And I think he still pulled the MT, but he just didn't pop up his wheelie.
Yeah.
He popped up his wheelie there. It's definitely closer, and at least on Sean's screen, I think Jake still probably wins on his own. And I think it's better to play it safe, because if you get slammed into the wall, all of a sudden you're going to have, someone else come up behind you and pass you as well, and then you're just giving more points over to KG. So again, you really want to make sure that you're squeezing out all the points that you can, and not losing 2 extra points is pretty big there.
All right, so we have more alternating spots here. 1, 3, 5 from Avail. Maybe they go for the Koopa Cape pick. Maybe the BC3. There's a few tracks you can pick for alt spots, but
I think DDR is the correct play here. I think that's very good. You do have Zagler in 8th too, so he can sit and go for that golden or maybe a star chain into something, and just really start being able to push the ultra cut there and take over top spots. And I really think second is just really bad, and it looks like KG's opting for Koopa Cape, and I actually don't hate the Bowser Castle pick coming out from AB as well. I think that's a really good call, just to try to take that away from them, or maybe that's a spam. I can't tell. I think that
was a KG. Maybe it was a misclick.
Spam. Maybe it is a spam there. But this I think is great for AV, because you're gonna take away one of arguably one of KG's best tracks, especially with the glitch being so prominent from them as a team, and you have the opportunity to start in front, block it, and make sure that they can't take it, and take one of the big hitters from them off the board. I mean, everyone talks about like AV being so good at Rainbow Road, which they are, and if you have an opportunity to take that off the board from them, that's huge. They're the only team that is that well practiced in it, so
it's kind of like a taste of their own medicine in a way.
Exactly, and it's even if they end up winning the race just because they are better on it, it's a situation where you're mitigating the damage. Even if you lose it by 3 points, that's much better than them starting top 3 or top 4 on that track and then running away with it and getting another top 3 or top 4. So I actually wouldn't mind this in the terms of AV, but right now it's 1-3 for KG, and Sean has a TC here.
This TC exchange is going to be huge if he can pass this. Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness! And he still gets hit by it, but two KG
little bit of miscommunication. Yeah.
Maybe we'll see, but Klein goes down, Shrooms back up a little bit here, so I think this is pretty top spots again for KG. So I think Zagler's the only one in the top 4 for them, so they need to really have Zagler be able to hold his own here.
You know, this is kind of underrated. It's not too talked about, but you know, with the Shroom, Funky Kong can do glitch pretty consistently, and with KG in the top spots, I would have liked to see Vincent maybe attempt it, because, you know, with the Daisy in first, they're just gonna keep increasing their lead, and the bagging battle is close. So,
and we see Zagler here too,
yeah.
so top 3, and that hurts so bad, that green with a TC.
I think that triple Shroom would have been a lot better had he maybe attempted glitch. Gives the TC to Sean. Will a shot come out? It does. Looks like
swap over to Sean and take a look here. Abo is in a pill right now too, so top 4 right now for KG. Sean's on the come up, but I don't think he's gonna pass more than 1. Oh, there's Zagler up there. Where did he come from?
Good greens from Jake, and yeah, at this point, glitch is blocked. I don't really see much else changing.
Yeah, I think we're not going to see much change there.
I lied. 2 of AV getting bombed, bottom 3 for AV, and this is a explosive KG race here.
And Murrah's moving up quickly. It looked like he did a star cut or something, and he gets what seems to be 5th. So bottom 3 for AV.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. I think that was Jake's track pick, and he was the only one, might I say, that picked BCW. He believed in it, while everyone else wanted dry, or everyone else wanted, I forgot what track they picked. KC, yeah. So really, I guess, you know, they're kind of they're glad this was picked.
Yeah,
These kind of worked out in their favor.
We'll give him the credit. He totally didn't spam click it on accident. It was 100%. He believed,
Zagler saved the day,
5. Yeah, Zagler really just saving him there. That could have been, you know, a situation like a top 3-5 and would have been huge for KG. But that double blue there, or just a blue that hit 2 people from KG, does give Zagler the break he needs to be able to maintain first there. So
yeah, the blue hit 2 people, and the green that dropped out of the guy ended up hitting, I think it's Murrah at the Daisy?
Yes.
And so 3 of KG got hit there, which is, that's actually big.
I mean, that's massive.
It changed a big part of the race, but, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, even with a situation like that for AB where you don't have a great race, and that's still off the table. You know, if Havo goes Daisy next GP, that's almost guaranteed a top 2, or at least first, because like it's gonna be really hard to get both Havo and Murrah out of first, or at least out of top 2 when a blue shell comes in with glitch. So I think overall, you know, all things considered, not a good race for AB, but it could have been much worse than it actually was. So having that off the table isn't the worst thing in the world if you're AB. And now you're moving on to KC, and you know, this is also a big AV track, but you know, Olafrey's not in the lineup, and he's someone who's obviously very good at this course, so obviously we'll see how they fare without it.
Zagler is going to need to maintain his first here, because he's the only one out there from
as
AV.
He's already in 8th place.
Yeah, so something happened there. Either he dropped, but this triple shroom pull, he needs to avoid the TC. A little bit of friendly fire there. Ooh.
But I mean, someone was gonna get hit by that no matter what. Sean only loses a single shroom at the end of the day, so not the worst thing ever, but really needing to catch up. He's gonna be holding the star probably for a while. I don't know if he would opt to chain it last set and just kind of get back in the mix. I don't hate that idea.
I think Pack is close enough to where he can. KC, you can't really catch up. And the pack is close enough to where a dodge will warrant him like 4 to 5 spots. I think holding this is the play.
We see everyone else going through the shortcut right now, and gonna start extending the distance between 8th and the rest of the pack a little bit more. Still very close. He chains it there first set, and he gets a star, so they should take him through the Shroom section, so not bad.
It's a nice pull, but I don't think it's worth it. He gained a spot, and he's kind of in the same position that he was. Still has a star though, but you know, at this point it's a sitting track. Shock isn't really guaranteed, so if it's not pulled by the end of this lap, do you think he should chain it for the shortcut maybe?
I think so, but I think that they might have it, as we just see Ryu spinning out from having Phil there, as he's the one spamming boxes in 9th as opposed to 10th. So, and it looks like a little forward movement coming in here from Mac, and it looks like he is just dropping the Phil. So we'll see what happens here. I don't think anyone has it. I think he's gonna have to chain it here again
Definitely.
and kind of get back in the mix because you can't hold this any longer.
Yeah.
So he does exactly that.
And he would love a golden here. Triple streams also works, but a golden would have. Yeah.
This might be better actually because you get to take 2 strats here and then you can hold the last one at the cut at the end. And you do have Vincent here holding triple reds, but it looks like 1-3 right now for KG. And
Ryu
the rest
is going forward though, which might show that a shock is in play, and maybe it's yes on Sean if KG has it. I'm not quite sure who has it at this point. It looks like they're both
they're
just
sitting together. I don't think anyone has it. So
and
a misplay from Sean as he's off the track. And Mike is going to take over 7th there. So bottom spot for Sean. Not a great race from AB. I can't imagine. I think it's 1-3-6-7 at worst for KG.
You know, I gotta respect what he was going for there. I don't think it really would have warranted him many more spots, but you know, it happens. It's happened to the best of us, but oh, that's so many spots blocked. Yeah. You know, it could have been a 3, 4, 5, 6, or maybe even second had he taken that fast, but yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Zagler must have got hit at the end, and not great right now. So 141 to 103 is the score. KG comfortably with a 38-point lead going into GP2. What do you do if you're AV?
Well, I think you're happy that the GP does not, or that the GP ended, because when a team starts top 2, it's a little scary. I think definitely Sean needs to reset his mental game if he's, you know, maybe if that flustered him a little bit. I don't really see him as a type of player to get too upset about things, so I'm not too worried. But I feel like if you're AV, you kind of just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe try to hold front presence a little more, but yeah.
Yeah, I think AV is just gonna hold off a little bit more, kind of pick their battles, and they're gonna get some opportunities here soon, and they're gonna have to just really utilize them the best they can, because right now the shock game is controlled entirely by Ryu and KG.
Sure.
So I think once you start getting a couple opportunities here from Mac, being able to get the bolt for the team, I think they really have to capitalize on when they have it. So use your resources as effectively as possible. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they can kind of turn it around. But if you're KG, you just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great. You're doing great.
I was kind of wanted to mention that, yeah, on KC, Sean held that star for pretty much the whole race, and that's what I mean. When you bank on shock like that, especially on a track like Koopa Cape, if it's not pulled, it's rough. So if Mac can get a shock, it could easily turn around a race here. What do you think we'll be doing in track picks? Where do you think we're going?
I think KG will go dry or Coco, and I think that AV is going to go RBC because we haven't seen it yet. So, you know, very standard. There's a dry pick too. We'll see if the rest of KG opts for it. They do. So nothing really surprising here. This is kind of exactly what we thought would happen. So we'll see what gets picked. It's RBC, and you know, AV's got another track pick here. We'll see what they can actually capitalize on it.
Normally RBCs play within the first GP, so it's kind of weird to see it, you know, in the middle of the war. It's a very neutral pick.
Very standard 2-4 alt spot pick. And I like this setup here from AB, having Vincent just take his line, not worrying too much about trying to draft first, and then looking to give Sean the draft behind him, because that is something that you can guarantee. And now Mike goldening up. A nice green attempt coming in from Zagler. It looks like they're double drafting here, putting pressure on Mike. This is what you need to do if you're AB. And get the front red.
Side swiping Mike. He held out a Nana. I don't know if you saw that. But it looks like he barely got on the side.
Unfortunate POW there. That would have been, I mean, it's still a very good POW for KG. And, you know, Sean would have taken that cut and had even more of a break at first. It does force a Mega out of Mura. So not the worst thing in the world, but top 2 for AB is really solid. If you're KG, maybe you hold that POW for this last turn, as it's much more detrimental as we see Mura shrooming up. And that would have 100% taken Sean off, but that's going to red Mura off. off to the side there, and Jake is gonna shroom up or draft up. I couldn't tell. Shrooming for sure. And
That red from last lap was huge because now AV occupying top 2, they're able to implement like double back spams, and Mike played it correctly. He got a golden from the get-go and just tried to get up there as soon as possible. So AV kind of controlling the top spots is really good here with all these tight turns. Gonna be able to double back.
And there's a blue shell coming in, so this is good for KG. They're gonna be able to take back over first. Oh, but he hits a ground and he shrooms forward and he goes straight into the wall. Probably a wheelie lock on very unfortunate for KG there, but top 2 back breaking, an immediate blue again from KG. But
Looks
still
like
top
still
2.
gonna have top 2, and that's what I mean. This track is so good for running. I am curious to see what's going on in Vincent's screen. I know he's somewhere in the mid pack. We kind of been checking out. Yeah, he's in 7th place here, pulling these shrooms, maybe going for a dodge. We haven't really talked about the bagging battle too much, but
that's
looks like
bottom
maybe
2 for KG. Yeah, we see bottom 2 for KG, Mura and either Mike or Havo there, as we saw Jake above in front.
I think Mac might have shock here, because the Baby Daisy's going forward and he was shrooming ahead. Mac kind of just chilling by the boxes.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I can't tell who. I haven't been following closely enough to know if Ryu is in 10th or if he's in, in 9th there. But he's moving forward. I think Ryu probably has this actually. I think he's being cautious on the bridge there, and I think it looks like Max just spamming boxes there.
But AV's top 2, they would have. Oh, he gets past a TC and forced to use shock. That was Max shock. Yeah, I knew they were gonna let top 2 pass and go from there. Maybe try to get the mid spots something, but looks like AV kind of just ran away with that after lap 2, after that red.
But 2, 4, 6, 7 for KG, not bad, all things considered. And
that TC pass was really good.
It was very good.
Now I am aware in the new rule set, baggers are allowed to pass TCs back. Correct?
Only to the racer that gave it to them. So it is a risk there. If you get past the TC, if you pass it to someone else as the bagger, it is a penalty. But if you pass it back to the racer that gave it to you, it is not a penalty.
Okay. Yeah, so if a bagger does end up pulling a TC, it's not the end all be all. It's just kind of, I feel like it's really risky to try to pass it back, because like, especially if you're around more than just the person who passed it to you, you don't really want to risk that -20 troll. BC3 coming out for mid spots, as well as Coco. I'm excited to see this race. BC3 gives the best races, and as well, I know these guys are really good ultra takers, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mura is just unrivaled right now in the game of Daisy players, so I'll really be excited to see if he can just kind of take over, utilizing the ultra shortcut on this course and just locking down first for his team. And we see Mike into a mega, Zagler pulling a TC unfortunately, and let's see where Sean is at. It looks like he's in 1st or 2nd right now, and doing a good job of being in the front for AV right now.
Ultra was uncontested there. Yeah, that's a really rare sight. Normally these types of rooms, you have someone kind of blocking the Ultra, not letting anyone do it, as well as the cut, which both were open that lap. So gonna get that
nice
bomb
back bomb. Yeah. Got it down on Mura, forcing him to drop back all the way to 8th. And let's take a look into Sean. We'll switch perspectives here, and we see he's fighting for top spots here. He's in 3rd against Havo and Jaker, and this green could be really good. If he did throw it back there, he could have potentially sniped the banana on cut if that's how it gets blocked. But it looks like, knowing Jax is in 1st, he does just go for it, and he does make the cut, so he's right back in the mix, and that's a good POW. So you know that Jake can no longer have a shroom, and I think this is the correct call. Use that shroom. You know that Jake's gonna block the cut ultimately, and you're gonna have to just have your mid-pack players cycle for a blue shell to try to get Jake out of there, because right now he's gone.
As well, Sean might be trying to cycle for a red here. Maybe if there is a blue, he can combo But at this point in the race, I suspect someone could be holding blue. There's enough item boxes in BC3 to where normally someone pulls it, someone's forced to hold it all race, and they end up falling really far behind because of it. But Cut is going to be blocked here. Oh, no, he fails the block, and Havo doesn't take advantage of the situation. Maybe he didn't pull shrooms or doesn't want to risk shroomless. Either way, 1-3 is a safe bet, and I don't think going for the shortcut there wouldn't have been the smartest choice.
Yeah, and right now it looks like KG might have the shock too. Mac is still driving backwards, it looks like, and Ryu's just sitting and chaining boxes at the Thwomp section. So we do see Mura getting last. Maybe that rust is really hurting him here on some of the shortcut tracks. So
I hope I didn't curse him. You know, you talk about things and it's real. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Caster's curse is definitely real.
Yeah. Also want to mention there that lap 2 cut, that little exchange with Sean and Havo. Havo took it a little slower and kind of was forced to let Sean do it before him. Didn't want to get bumped around, so because of that, Sean was able to hold second all race. And still, I think that still was a KG win by a little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a -1 for KG. So if you're at this point of the war right now, you're at the halfway mark, you're KG, you take -1s because you're still gonna win in that situation. So -1s are good news for KG. If you're AV, that's not enough. You need to get larger winning races as you're down 32 points with 5 to go. So they really need to start picking it up a little bit more and really start applying more pressure over onto the side of KG.
For sure. I think as well, if AV does end up getting like one big race, like a top 3, they can just go straight into Rainbow Road, and it kind of just starts spiraling downward from there for KG if track picks, you know, go in their favor. So you, like you said, you take -1s all day.
So similar situation, 1-3 again for KG. So back to dry, and for most of the mid-pack spots, AV is opting for Waluigi Stadium. An interesting choice.
That is. I feel like that's a pretty underrated running course because a lot of people don't like how it drives. It's very.
It's a very technical track with some big time saves overall for non-needed shrooming. So you have the turn skip on the second ramp here, and you can shave a lot of time if you do that really well. And then the wall clip right before the shortcut can also save you a ton of time, and you can do the turn skip after on the section following the shortcut. And there's just a lot of optimizations on this course that you can really save seconds even each lap. So really,
at the end of the day, though,
something that AV has practiced more, and if that's something that they're going to take advantage of.
At the end of the day, though, you do end up just getting target shocked. It's a very, very technical track, and it drives very well, but someone on your team is probably getting target shocked. And
going for a swim.
Yep, and that's a big reason why I feel like a lot of teams don't like this track, because it is so shock heavy. That last ramp, similar to Wario's Gold Mine, it's so detrimental there, if you get shocked over there. But got a really clean wall bounce there, and is going to be able to overtake first.
And you just saw right there, I mean, Sean, just with the technical aspects of this course alone, overtook Havo. I mean, yes, he ended up streaming away through the shortcut, but I mean, he had already caught and then applied that pressure of bad pow fail there.
Yeah.
So good.
Even if he did,
it doesn't help him.
Yeah. I don't want to say failing it was intentional, but he lost the same amount of time regardless. He was going in the mud or he was spinning out on the regular track. So early shock coming in. I don't know. Will there be room for a last second shock with a lap 2 like that?
A nice throw from there, and he gets Mura with that fib. Really nice shot there from Sean. And 2-3 right now for KG. Let's swap over to Vincent and see where he's at. He's in 5th right now, so right behind Jake. This is not a bad position for AB as he gets taken out. And no, his red passes. It goes for there, but 1-3 here.
Oh, he was a
and
little late
another
on
red
throwing
going
that
in.
back. Everything's going downhill for AV here.
Is it bottom 3 for AV? Oh, no, Mike does get hit, so that's definitely Klein in 8th. And
no last second shock.
6, 7, 8 for AV.
If you're AV there, you know that you messed up. Like that whole ending, a lot of that could have been avoided. You know, the red throw, I guess Vincent didn't suspect that I think it was Havo would land on what looks to be a fib. But wow, so much of that could have been avoided.
Yeah, and we had a little cutout there when Sean made the snipe on Mura, so it's really unfortunate we didn't get to see it live, but the you could see the connection was made.
Yeah.
It was a really nice throw coming in for Sean as he does take home first there. So
Maybe I don't think it was Havo. I think it was
it was a snipe on a Mura. It was a
Yeah.
snipe on a Mura. Yes.
I'm that lap 2 shock. Do we know whose that was? Kind of couldn't really see what was going on. It looked like people from both teams got target shocked, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that was an AV shock. I thought they got 2 KG members off. And I mean, it was a good shock, but even after that, KG was still top 2 up until the shortcut section when Sean made the snipe onto Mura. So interesting shock there, and not a bad overall race for either team. So we're at a 39-point lead for KG, and all they need to do is just hold on at this point.
See the moon view pick coming out, and this is a stable KG pick. Not looking like we're going there though. Dry Ruins, this is good for AV as they have 8th place. They don't really have that first locked down though, so we'll see how it plays out. This is a really, really bad track for second, really good for first, but
let's swap over to Sean and see how he handles this first turn and see if he can maintain his
AV does have
position.
first. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Sean does have first, so we'll see if he can just maintain this lead. Like we were saying earlier, very fast player, nice low sand top, very clean, nice bib drop there. Halbo does shroom up and takes over first, and now all of a sudden we're seeing 1-3 from KG, and which is what it feels like we've seen a lot during the course of this war.
Yeah,
and
kind of
playing it a little safe. Yeah, it looked like he was trying to be a little safe of avoiding Havo's back spam, and Havo didn't drop anything. And a nice snipe, and now a nice lead for Havo in first, and bottom 2, 3 of bottom 4 for AV. So
yeah, looks like Vincent's going for the ultra there. I think he might have a golden. I think he was holding that from lap 1 because he was in the bottom spots there.
I don't like holding this from Sean because look how far back in 10th Ryu is.
Yeah.
Mac is way out of this bagging battle unless he already has it and is just continuing to drive backwards to give the fakeness that he doesn't have the shock. And I mean, he's chaining boxes now, but it might be a position where it's too late.
KG was 5, 6, 7. I have a feeling Sean might use this star here to get a chance. Oh no.
I think he's gonna just take it through the cut. I think he just takes it through the cut.
If he was 8th, oh wow, he's confident. Matt, wait, look at Mac. Maybe he has it in 9th.
Maybe he does. I mean, he is very off to the side. He has to have it. There's no way he's just up there for no reason.
Oh.
So this is gonna be an AV shock. Here it comes. Klein into Mega. 2 dodges.
What a chain, and the blue coming out. Avail.
This is a top 4 for Avail, most likely at this point. 2, 3, 4 right now, but Habo's still locking out first. This is going to be taken over by Sean, most definitely. This gold's going to take him all the way to the finish line.
Unless Sean can maybe drop some kind of... No. Sean playing it really, really safe. Doesn't want to get trailed there by Havo. Smart decision, and first place. That shock was everything.
1, 3, 4 or top 2, 4, 5 for AV. Very good race. It's exactly what they needed, just what the doctor ordered. Sign them up. We're back in this, and you have 3 races to go.
Yeah.
Or no, this was race 8, so we have 4. We have 1 GP left. Sorry, my apologies. One whole GP left, and they're in it. They're in it. We got us a ball game.
If you're Avail here, you needed that. Going into last GP, that is such good momentum. 1, 3, 4, 7. I don't know what happened to Klein. Maybe he got a bad chain from there, but still a pretty solid race. And they're kind of closing in on that, that gap that KG made. It's going to be really close going into last GP.
Yeah, we got it. It's 26, so a 13-point win there. So they still have a bit of work to do here, but good overall. Klein, I'd love to see what happened to him. I don't know if he got hit at the wall glitch section, or if he just missed it and went for a loop into the wall, or what happened. But not great after you dodged there to end up in 7th place when you were dodging in 5th. So
I think he got a bad chain. He probably chained a blooper. Or something. There was a blue that came out from AV, so maybe he had the blue chain. That either way, like if you don't pull shrooms there, you're falling behind.
It was definitely his blue, but I mean he was right in the mix. So I mean Sean, after he dodged, he caught up to everyone when the blue explosion happened, and he had his gold in there. He hadn't used it yet, so I mean something had to have happened to Klein that either knocked him out of that spot or self-inflicted wound. So not ideal there, but let's see what AV can do to bring this back a little bit more. Down 26 with 4 races to go.
We're going back into alternating spots here. I'm always interested to see what they pick, because like you said, these spots don't really happen often in during the GP. So some of these track picks, it's like, where do we go? A lot of the stuff's already been played. So
I think you go full reset track. You go Sherbertland. Yeah, this is a good call. And Moonview coming out for KG. I actually don't mind that pick. You're 1-3. You can kind of swerve over to stop 2nd, and 5th can draft, and there's a lot of potential there for KG. And we're going to Sherbertland.
4th. I guess you have first swerve.
You just have first swerve out of the way, prevent 4th from drafting, and then you just hold on to that for dear life.
Sure. Yeah, Sherby coming out. Like you said, full reset track. I'm interested to see if Sean is going to slow down here or keep driving. Power items, Goldens, really, really powerful on this track.
But I also really like, I said full reset. This is also still a pretty good front running track as well. If you get an item early that just lets you take over first place by a little bit, you could just really run it home. And Klein getting hit from a red there, probably getting past that TC. And Murrah shrooming up and actually still staying behind Sean. So Sean's in a bit of a pickle here as he's surrounded by KG members. And he gets the fib drop onto Jake, but Murrah is still just pressuring with these screens. Very scary situation of your Sean. And the snipe attempt might come in here. He does avoid the first one. He's going to concede this most likely and go for 4th. And top 3 right now for KG. So good situation. But Murrah, a slight misplay there. Hits the banana. Getting back bombed. Ooh, a slight team fire there from Zagler onto Vincent.
I feel like Murrah could have slowed down there with those greens. Like KG was top 2, kind of breaking away. If he maybe opted to schlag instead, it would have been a little better. But
end of lap 2, blue coming in, as good as mine. So this, I think Sean is gonna. He gets the draft, so he's in first.
What a draft!
Really clutch draft there too. Able to maintain his shroom. I think you have to just burn it here, and it's exactly what he's gonna do. If Pavo gets a red shell there, he's gonna be in trouble.
Too close. And not only that, just driving next to someone, it's scary. You're constantly having to be aware. You don't want to get sniped or bumped. So that shroom, I think shroom got there was good.
This is a good situation to be in for Sean. Able to back some items here, and I think he needs to back a little bit more. He backs another banana, but KG's able to just go and sit wide. Murrah gets hit by something in the back, and the shock comes in.
8th
and
place
it's an
dodge,
AV shock. It's an AV shock, so we'll see who all is able to catch up. I imagine that Vincent still had that star, but we'll see. It doesn't look like anyone's nearby in a 2-3 at least for KG.
I think it was just a little too late. Even if Vincent did dodge, they chained themselves in. Yeah, they chained themselves in a set there, but a little too far behind. And even if you pull a golden, at best you're catching 3rd. So still first for AV. Definitely better to secure first rather than make any risky plays, especially when you're only down 26 points.
Yeah, definitely have to capitalize on the situations, and that's what we had been talking about earlier. AV is going to start getting a couple shocks here and there, and when they do, they have to make the most of them, and 1-4 is not going to cut it. It is not even a winning race.
at the same time, I like that they played it safer there with Shock because it's Sherbet Land. It's a full reset track. Like there could have been so many dodges in play. I see both sides of the story here, but either way, the points are what talk at the end of the day. And yeah, they are down 20. Is it 31? Yeah.
31 points.
Ooh.
And I mean the gap gets a little bit bigger there, and that's the thing. You don't have time. You have 3 races left. And you just don't have time. And I mean it's still a top 4-9 from tying it, but that's still a lot of ground to cover in just 3 races.
Yeah, I think they're going to be opting for Coconut Mall here. It's kind of another one of those tracks where it's okay for first, or it's good for first, good for bottom.
I really would have liked to see a gold mine here coming out for AV. I think that would have been a really nice play from AB to be able to get the draft in 4th on it. And then just kind of bully Mura off at the beginning and just lock down some top spots.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I could have seen both ways. Of course, whenever you talk about it, track doesn't get picked. So we're going to Moonview.
So KG opting for this, even though they don't have first. So we'll see what they're going to be able to do. But this is not bad. AB has won 4. Klein can draft Sean here, and they can actually take a break in top 2.
Not only that, KG has a Daisy too, so they're going to get bumped around by these cars. That was weird pick from KG. Let's see how it works out.
And a nice fib there. Jake does not get hit by it, but still a nice attempt there. And a shroom up from Vincent. So Vincent's taking over first. And a nana pack. Jake goes right through it and ends up hitting Sean.
Now, if you're Jake here, he shroomed up in the beginning. And, it was kind of risky because if Sean would have had any item like a red or something, like that would have been gone for AV. AV would have been gone top 2. But here we are. We have Jake in first. And, I'm lagging a little bit. I want to switch to Vincent's point of view because I think he's higher up there in the front. Looks like he also gets bumped into a car, and a little bit of lag going on. Was that from Klein?
That was from Klein. A little Great Britain love tap there. So knocking Vincent back into 6th, but he does have a mega now, and it looks like Mac is still running backwards, and Ryu is far behind, hitting cars, so he probably got stuck with the bill again, but still a huge advantage here, and he's still getting hit by stuff. So I wonder if Mac, he's moving forward, so this could be an AV shock, and that star's on the ground. So bottom 2 for KG, and a blue shell coming out for AV. This could be massive.
Maybe Vincent uses it in case they cancel. Yeah. Mega is good, but I think it is definitely like the weakest dodge on this track. Looks like no shock is going to come out. Mike used his mega, maybe thinking AV had it there. That's kind of weird. Or unless there's no shock in play.
I think if anyone has it right now, it's AV. I mean, you still see Ryu constantly spinning out, trying to get items. And a TC pass over to Ryu, not a big deal, but actually losing a spot to Mike there.
Ryu taking that TC actually mattered. I don't think that's a trolling penalty. I'm not quite sure, but
I mean, he is moving forward and gets a wheelie bump and loses a spot out to Mike there. So they definitely should clip that and send it over to the referees and see if they can get something for that.
That's huge, especially with 2 races left. That -10 or potential -20. Oh my gosh, and an explosive race from AV. That was probably one of their biggest races yet. And especially with that penalty, that could put AV in the lead.
And top 2-4, this is perfect spots for Rainbow Road coming in for AV. So again, talking about that compiling, this could be the chance to turn it around and kind of steal a victory from the jaws of defeat. So we'll see what happens, and we're gonna get some voting coming out from the referees once we get that clip. So
yeah,
we'll keep you guys posted here in the chat on what the decision is there.
So definitely, yeah, they're gonna pick Toad's Factory. Top 2-4. This is the first time I think Avail has been in this situation, and if they can get their track pick, the tides can turn real quick, and we can have a really close last race. But they got to get that track pick. If Grandma Volcano is picked, it's just another one of those reset tracks. So Avail kind of praying right now that TF is picked.
And one more track pick to be picked, and it's a repick on
Gardens.
Gardens. I'm sure it was a CTGP random, and I don't know whose perspective that is. Does not matter. We spoke to life. We were talking about the other tracks. TF got picked. AV's
Yeah.
in the driver's seat now. They got everything they need here to be able to make this comeback. They're only down 12 with 2 races to go.
The first 10 seconds of this race is really going to determine how the rest of this race goes. AV needs to get 4th draft first. First takes the set, and I think they got it too. It looks like Mike was able to draft someone, but still AV at the top, and KG is gonna have to shroom up if they want to take out.
They can't hold any items here.
Yeah.
Someone just fell back, and I did not catch who it was. Let's swap over to...
And there it is. 1 red, 2 birds, 1 star. Yeah, you get the point.
And I think this is top 3 right now for AV.
Yeah, this is it. AV is gonna run the rest of the race. KG gonna have to start chucking those blues.
And Sean's stream is lagging, so we'll just stick with Vincent for now, I think, since this is lagging a little. Oh no, it came back the moment that I said something. But this is good because we do get to see Sean up here in first, dodging the POW, Klein in second. I didn't catch where Zagler was. I know he was in top 3 earlier, but can't see where they're at least top 2 coming in for AV right now. So this is really good. And it does not look like anyone's leaving from a bagger perspective yet. Gets rid of the green, is looking for something more stationary to back spam. And
I wish we could see the bagging point of view, because we have Sean just gone in first, and Ryu wasn't a star there, so he could potentially star over Mac and try to pull the shock. But I'm interested to see what's going on in Vincent's screen.
Yeah, let's swap over. He's in 7th, and I wonder who's in 8th and who's in 5th, because we don't have the opportunity to see them. Mega from Jake indicating that they do not have the shock here.
This is big. This is exactly what I was talking about. We are going to be in for a last race. This is definitely a top 2 for AV. It looks like it. Another Mega coming out. Vincent failing the cut.
Oh no, Vincent, you hate to see that. Failing the shroom cut. He should have just done it shroomless. He's probably much more confident at this point. No one thinks the shroom cut anymore. This is 2020, ladies and gentlemen.
It's hilarious how TF physics with the shroom makes you fail the cut. Isn't that something? Wow. Back in 2011, shroomless was insane, and now it's like you don't go for shroom cut. It's just slower.
Nobody uses it anymore.
Wow. Yeah, top 2 coming in for AV.
It's not much to say otherwise. I mean, that's a 33-point race, so a +5. So now they're down 7 with 1 race to go. And if you're KG and you just had, these back-to-back races, I think you go for the reset track, but you make it one that's not a sitting one, because you have Ryu overall doing a lot of work in this bagging war. So let him control the bagging side of this. And if you're AV, I really like this Coconut Mall pick. Make it so, you can not have any shocks and or at least mitigate it and still be able to run. I mean, there's, again, not a lot of room to catch up on Coconut Mall.
Yeah,
and Grumble is the complete opposite of that.
Grumble's weird, though, with the bagging battle, though, because it completely, it's determined by who pulls either the shrooms or the in a rare case the star. And I'm pretty sure Ryu and Mac are experienced enough to know how to do the strat going back to the star. But this is kind of iffy with the bagging battle. A big part of this track is shock, so KG is gonna need it if they want to secure a good race.
Yeah, and don't forget that we still have the potential. Probably wouldn't be more than a 5-point penalty against KG, so this could just be a 2-point lead actually for KG.
Going into last race, this war is closer than ever. What more did you expect?
I mean, this is living up to exactly what we wanted. And we have Vincent's stream lagging a little bit there, but he's pulling triple shrooms in 5th. I mean, just the absolute nuts draw here, and he gets starred. You just said don't get starred.
He didn't
pull the triple shrooms anyway.
Go with simple respawn? Okay.
Again, this could be coming into play that he has not played very often in the past while at least. So maybe he's just thinking, I can just do the safe strats. I can just take respawn every lap and be okay. And that's enough to get us across this finish line. Let's see if we can check in with Sean as he pulls the POW here. Shroom third, so a good spot for him right now. I would be interested to see if they would have tried to go for that, but they have Zagler also with Shrooms. Good cognizance and recognition to know that they don't have a Shroom in first on Jake, that they would need to POW that out of him.
A little bit of an ugly POW though. It slows him down a little bit, but still a top 2 for AV here. And want to mention the 2 baggers. We have Ryu chilling on the left side, which kind of indicates that he probably has it. Mac falling off, and we were talking about it. KG has shock here. What will they do with it?
Yeah, very important to see how they handle the situation. I wouldn't be surprised if they even went for a chain in the cave, but they don't. And right now, I mean, you know, Sean's got a decent lead, but this cut here can change everything.
Is it coming in?
And
yes.
3 people are in the cut. Jake gonna take over first. They're gonna be 1-3-4 or top 2-4. No, 1-3-4.
No.
One,
Zagler
or
kind of
1-3-5.
saving the day.
Yeah, 1-3-5 coming in for KG. So that's enough to win the war, even with the -5 penalty. So I think KG's taking this home.
And you know, that Grumble pick, it worked out for KG. I think Ryu at the end of the day.
You put the faith in Ryu.
Yeah.
He clutches up. I mean, Ryu's just a great bagger, and he did a great job. And it's exactly what we were saying. You know, Ryu was getting the better of Mac, so you go into a track where you let Ryu kind of control the flow of that race. And it looks like Mura DC, but he's still gonna get 8th for that. So still a win for KG. What are your thoughts on that war?
That was really entertaining, and you know, AV was like ever so slowly kind of just sneaking up on them GP3, but couldn't clutch it out there. You know, they had like I think 3 winning races before the last race, and it all came down to Grumble. I think it kind of played out how it should have. Like I said, no one's really gonna run away with it, and you know, losing by less than 20 for Avail, I don't think you can be mad there, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a well fought win for KG, and honestly, you know, with having Mura and Jake back, solid performance. So I mean, they're only gonna get better again, and I think KG's gonna get scarier and scarier as we move through this summer split of MKPS.
Yeah. I want to mention as well, you know, we didn't really talk about it too much, but I think Klein and Zagler held their weight. You know, we were talking about they could be kind of iffy, but it seemed like they all played pretty well that game for the most part.
Yeah, you did get to see Zagler in the front quite a bit. I didn't see too much of Klein. I think he did play the mid pack pretty well. Just little mistakes here and there, I think, added up. Definitely at least the 14 points that we saw here. So really kind of upsetting, you know, if you're AV, you maybe walk away with a couple regrets. But overall, you know, they played arguably the best lineup coming out of KG, and you stuck with them. And, you know, even if this is just a 5-point pen, you know, you lose by single digits. So really good job for both teams. They're both gonna be scary the longer we, you know, go through the season. And I mean, this is what you're expecting this D1 caliber.
And this is only week 1 of MKPS, guys. There is a lot more Mario Kart Wii to come. So I'm not quite sure when our next cast is. If you want to fill them in, will there be another cast tonight?
I don't think there's gonna be another one today, because we had one previously this morning. So I think this was the last one for this week. So as we move into next week, we'll have some more. Remember, we do have the Mario Kart World Cup happening next weekend as well. So some scheduling will kind of happen to work around with that. And then after, we're MKPS the rest of the way through, finish up Spring Split, get into the postseason there, and then we've got the final tournament after that. So stay tuned with us as we keep moving on throughout these weeks, guys.
All right, and with that, I think that's gonna be us signing out. I've been Vincent.
And I'm Wally. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later.